Hi, it's Rachel with Stirring the Deep. As the winds, which I talked about in Revelation, start to blow, okay, is causing a lot changes in the earth. And what that also is the switch from the reign of darkness to the reign of light, the reign of righteousness. Okay, so where lawlessness, darkness, evil has abounded, has succeeded, has always gained the upper hand, now righteousness is going to gain the upper hand. Okay, this whole world has been under that influence, under that sway of evil. But as the righteous reign comes in, and that's what the winds are doing, it is bringing in that righteous reign, that breath of life, this kingdom is going to fall. So you're either part of the growing kingdom, which is a growing reality created by the Heavenly Father, which is of the most beautiful, glorious, peaceful, amazing place, versus a downward descent of a reality of darkness, of pain, of suffering, because that's becoming the outer darkness. Because the light is now coming up in the vessels of those who are receiving and partaking of that light. Okay, so that is what makes this outer darkness very dark. And in that weeping and gnashing of teeth, that is the pain that is attributed to those who are still holding on to that kingdom of darkness. The one that you're battling here is yourself. Okay, because now you have been given living waters to drink from. You have been given the righteousness of Christ to partake of. And it's not some fake righteousness that sometimes religion seems to portray, where they say, we have the righteousness of Christ, but their life is a mess. When you have the righteousness of Christ, you literally start walking in much more righteous ways. It's all by His power. It's all by His doing. Okay, every change, everything that happens is Him working in you as you obey and listen. It is very key to follow His voice and promptings, because if you don't obey and walk, you never grow. Because once you step out in obedience, and it's a step of faith, then what you see is you grow from that and propels you to the next step. So unless you're taking continuous steps forward, you're not growing, and you're going to stay bound in the darkness. Okay, but that is, now you have the two paths to choose from. You can either continue on that path of darkness, it's a downward descent, that kingdom is being destroyed. Or you're going to be partaking of that upward ascent, the kingdom of light, the kingdom of righteousness, which is now beginning to reign. That means all the ways of righteousness are beginning to prosper. Just like evil prospered, now that kingdom's prospering. So you want to be part of that. And just like it says nothing that's vile or, all these things of corruption, none of that is coming into the kingdom. So don't think you can hold on to all your issues and sins that are there and think that you can be moving into the kingdom. Those have to be purged out of your life first. Let God help you do that, because now the power is here to do that. Because the righteous reign is here. That means you have the ability to do that. Where before you were in prison, you were stuck, you were in bondage, the door's been opened. There is now another option. Okay? And that's what I'm talking about. So you have to get very real in your life. So a couple of things I want to bring up. One, for the women, okay? You really have to look at your life, because you have to address you serving the lust in your life. How you dress, what you put on, how you present yourself, how you speak, the interactions, the type of interactions that you have, the different groups of people that you hang out with or are a part of. If you're having surgeries like breast implants to magnify the lust spirit, all of those things are going to start causing a lot of pain in your life, because they're all contrary to that righteous reign. To be a woman of the kingdom is to honor yourself, is to honor beauty, right? It's not to make beauty into this lustful image, right? And you see that image everywhere, but it has to be destroyed, okay? And it's going to be destroyed, and either you're going to let go of it, or it's going to start causing so much pain in your life that you'll be forced to let go of it. Because the pain is there, so you will let go. You're going to have to see, and that's what all these whirlwinds are about, that those actions that you think, what's the big deal, everybody dresses this way, you know, you're going to see that that causes a lot of pain. And you don't want to do that. It's much easier to just learn to embrace this wisdom that I'm giving you and start walking in the ways of life. Okay, so you've got to look at how you dress, how you present yourself, and just every time you go out, are you promoting that lustful image? Are you promoting that lustful spirit? And you've got to get rid of it. You've got to let it go. Okay, and you have to start thinking instead, how am I honoring of myself, of what I've been given? Am I taking care of myself? Am I honoring my vessel in every way? And how I treat it, how I act, every way. Because as you start doing that, you're going to start obtaining all those things that you really desire, that you were trying to fill with that lust. That lust will never fulfill you. It will never bring the things that will fulfill you. Okay, that's all a lie. You have to start moving and start honoring yourself. Because when you do that, you're also honoring other women, you're honoring other men, you're honoring God. It's very, very powerful when you make this switch in your life and let go of the lust. And for men, it is letting go of feasting on that lust image. Stop looking at the porn. Stop poring over these images of women that and how they are that are protruding this lustful image. And just like it says, if your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out. Not literally, but meaning just stop. Stop going to the magazines. Stop looking at the internet. Stop going to certain movies and shows that promote that, because it pursues you. I know that this is very hard for men because it is everywhere, and that's why this is twofold. The men and the women have to come together and start honoring themselves and each other for this to be destroyed. Because if you keep holding on to that lust image, if you think it's no big deal to be looking at these images on the internet, to be looking at porn, to be looking at these movies that are full of lust and all this stuff, then again, you're going to start experiencing a lot of suffering in your life and a lot of turmoil. And you may be already, and that may be exactly why. And forget about having a good marriage. If that's a part of your life, you will never have a good marriage. Okay, so you're just putting yourself in suffering and torment and everybody in your family. It's that powerful. It is a very huge, compulsive, compelling, strong spirit, and you've got to get real about defeating it. But again, you take each day step by step, active faith, and then because this righteous rain is coming in, you're going to start being propelled forward in that. But if you continue to hold on to that, you're just going to be sucked into more of that outer darkness, okay, where it's just creating so much pain and torment. So you have to let go of those. That the other, another issue I want to bring up that I brought up before is how we treat animals. And I say this because God gave us that reign, in a sense, over them. And if we treat them cruelly, that's holding on to the pit. So if you're partaking of that industry, of the meat industry, of the dairy industry, and all the harm and the suffering and the torment that it creates for those animals, you yourself are just going to suffer for that. Okay, because that's cruel. That's part of death. That's part of the pit. That is not what God intended in the beginning. That is not what He intends for His kingdom. That will not be a part of His kingdom. This cruelty toward animals, it will not. So if you want to ascend into the kingdom, if you want to move into the kingdom, comes within, it becomes from these very real choices in your life. And again, as you make those choices, what you are filled with, the things of the Spirit, the power and the life and the growth and all that's propelling you forward is tremendous. I mean, these acts that you make are huge in your life right now. huge, okay, in terms of creating your reality. Another one that I want to bring up is movies and shows. You have to be, these shows are just so full of lust and just crude images and words and language and all the violence. If you're filling your mind with all these things, your mind cannot transform. It's like you're keeping it plugged in to death. It's because this kingdom is all about you. Christ, life, all this stuff coming up in you. And if you're still plugged into all that stuff, you're not going to be able to make that transformation. That's just going to keep pulling you down. That's going to create a lot of hardship and darkness in your life. The other one I want to address is in the workplace. Deceiving, manipulating, lying, it has become such status quo. No one thinks about it. But those are all those areas. If you continue to work in those ways in business, where you take advantage of people, you try to get as much as you can out of them, you treat them poorly, you twist things, you lie, you deceive them, you manipulate, all of that is going to bring great dire consequences to your life. Okay, because that is all against this righteous reign that I'm talking about. So all these things that we've gotten so numb to, so used to doing, you have to start examining your life. And those pains and the things that you're going through right now, ask yourself, what's causing this? Because if you are a part of the kingdom, you're not experiencing that. What you're experiencing right now, if you're part of the kingdom, is life and growth and peace and abundance and joy. It's nothing of this kingdom of darkness. There are two kingdoms now. And that is why there'll be the downfall of that kingdom of darkness. It's become divided. It is now divided, and it is on its downward descent. And you don't want to be holding on to anything of it, because it will take you down with it. The last one I want to mention in this video is about religion. Okay, and there is so much hypocrisy in religion, and this is a hard one because it goes down to your very beliefs, and this can be a harder one to see. But if you're holding on to kind of this outward cloak of religion that you put on, but in your life all this stuff is going on, that will be what holds you to the pit. Okay, that hypocrisy, the lies, all that's been twisted and corrupted about religion, all of that is passing away. And if you're holding on to any part of that, that also is going to be something that's going to cause a lot of pain and suffering in your life. So let God just strip you down, okay? Look at it like you are literally just let everything of your life just be stripped away from you, and let God rebuild it back in truth, in honor, in love, in peace, in righteousness. Let Him lead you on those paths of righteousness, because now is the time to start walking that. Because if you do, you are going to experience an amazing new reality that wasn't possible before. If you hold on to the things of this pit, the things of darkness, that's just going to grow very, very dark. Okay, and so this isn't about, the turmoil in your life isn't about Satan attacking you. Okay, that's you attacking you, because you won't let go of those things of the pit. Because if you're clinging to the things of righteousness, if you're growing in those things, the enemy has no hold on you. He's not attacking you. You have a wall of fire, because that's what that spirit gives you. Okay, you're only experiencing, the only thing he can throw at you are the lies. Okay, but I've talked about how you cut that off. Okay, because that's what it means for the kingdom to be here, is he's cut off from you. And that's the only place he stays, in the kingdom of darkness. But what that is, all he can do is feed you the lies. He's the tempter, okay, of our own spirits, but it's we who follow and choose to walk in those ways. So you've got to choose to walk in a better way. There is that option there. The living waters are there for you to partake of. That perfect love that is desiring to be united to you is there to partake of, but you can't have all this corruption in your life. Okay, it's not, you won't be able to enter with it. You've got to start letting it go. Till next time, keep stirring the deep. It's the one thing that changes everything else.